time to set the table for this Saturday night's big event on HBO, and it's going to be between Terence Crawford at Omaha, Nebraska. Terence Crawford defending his WBO junior welterweight title against the very formidable Mr. Dierry Jean. It's funny, Gogue, when this matchup was first signed, sealed, and delivered and presented to the public, everyone was stinking all over this matchup, and I think it's a bit unfair. What are your thoughts on this matchup? And, before we start breaking down the strengths and weaknesses and call out the tail of the tape for both fighters, what are your thoughts on this very intriguing matchup at 140?
Look, people out there listening in, the reason why Dierry Jean got this fight, because his promoter or his manager is the same guy, Camille Ewald, is that his name, Joe? Camille Estefan. Yeah. Yeah, the same guy that handles Lemieux. So, me knowing boxing, this deal was made behind closed doors. He probably used Lemieux as leverage to make sure this Dierry Jean got a spot on an HBO card. Okay, that's what he did. He leveraged Lemieux to make sure this Dierry Jean got that an opportunity on HBO, and they go, okay, you want to be on HBO? Okay, we got Terence Crawford, and they took it. That's how this fight happened. And cause there's a lot of guys that can fight Terence Crawford. You know that, and I know that, and every internet boxing writer out there knows it. But hey, I know how side deals are made, and things get done in boxing. They do it behind closed doors, okay, Joe? And I have a good feeling that he leveraged Lemieux with Peter Nelson. Yeah, we'll take that fight, but hey, make sure you throw my guy Dierry Jean a bone on give him an HBO opportunity. Am I right, Joe? That's how the game works.
No, of course that's how it works, and of course, but trust me on this, HBO, they're no dummies. They would have never agreed. Like you said, they're playing hardball. On last night's show, you said, hey, man, they're playing hardball with everyone. They're not just going to put a fight together if it doesn't make any sense. So don't misunderstand Gogue, guys. He's not diminishing this matchup one bit. He's basically saying, well, that's what made this come to fruition, was the management team, the Tiger management, headed by Camille Estefan, who handles a lot of very, very good fighters out of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. So basically that's what set the table. That's what created this opportunity for Dierry Jean. But trust me when I tell you guys this, he is very deserving of this opportunity. Guys, and that'll lead us into the tail of the tape. And, yes, there are other guys. There are a lot of guys who are deserving and who will, put forth a very respectable performance, who are capable of putting forth a respectable performance against Terence Crawford. But, James, I don't know too many who are actually willing to do that at this time. Terence Crawford, even though he's a title holder at 40, I don't know very many guys who are willing or anxious to step in the ring with the enigma, the switch-hitting enigma that is Bud Crawford at this time. So that sets the table, guys, for Dierry Jean taking on Terence Bud Crawford this Saturday night on HBO. We're going to rattle off now the tail of the tape for one Dierry Jean of Montreal, Quebec, Canada, originally from Haiti. He comes into the ring at age 33. He fights out of the orthodox stance. He stands 5'6.5" tall. He fights behind a very long 72-inch reach. He comes into the ring with a record of 29 wins, 1 loss, 20 big wins coming by way of knockout. What can you tell us about the strengths and weaknesses of the athletic Dierry Jean?
Oh, he's an athletic fighter, Joe. He's a slick counterpuncher. Okay, he works, off that jab, that quick, fast jab. He likes to counter he likes to slip and counter off your misses. And he throws fast, sharp combinations when he gets in range. But he's a thinking man's fighter, Joe. He just doesn't walk straight in and starts throwing all kinds of punches without working his jab. he makes sure, he tries to get control of you by putting that jab in your face, making sure his distance is right. Then once he knows that, his jab is in motion, he's got his timing and rhythm going good because his jab is his jab is starting to flow. That means them combinations are going to come right behind the jab, okay? And he throws combinations to the body and head, okay? He's fast. And is he a big puncher? Nah. But he's fast and he's quick, okay? The speed can cause Terence Crawford problems, just like Gamboa in the early rounds. His eyes Terence Crawford's eyes got to, get adapted to that speed, to see those punches coming. But it's just, Dierry Jean, he's athletic. He's an athletic boxer, Joe, not a big puncher. Basically, likes to work off that jab. Basically, everything gets him in motion. That's how he gets in his timing and rhythm going. And once he gets that jab going, boy, he knows if he could touch you with the jab, that right hand's going to fire. The left hook's going to be right behind it, body shots and everything else and everything. But he just can't kick back and wait like he likes to and just pick you apart from distance.
Like he did against Lamont Peterson. Yeah, like he showed against Lamont Peterson. He didn't show that sense of urgency like he was actually in an IBF title fight.
Yeah, he can't just kick back and wait. Against Crawford, Crawford's going to keep everything at range, control distance. So therefore, this guy's going to have to press the action. He just can't kick back and wait and let Crawford control range and distance. Hey, he might have to, Joe, he's going to have to change his style, man. Being more assertive, putting the pressure on, working 2 or 3 jabs, putting more combinations together, cutting out the movement of Crawford, okay? Just get a little rough and physical, get a little nasty, okay? Using a power running game, I call it. Okay, a physical. But you don't have to abandon your style, your essence on who you are. Just being more physical, using his style. Being more assertive with the jabs, especially the touch jabs, up and down, combinations. Take advantage of his speed, okay? When you put those combinations together, okay? Then get out of there, okay? Just don't stand in the line of fire because Crawford's a masterful counterpuncher, and he could punch. And when he hits this dude, Dierry Jean, if Dierry Jean stays right there, especially he likes to keep his hands low, Joe. He's one of them athletic, slick guys. He likes to keep his hands low, and throw them fast combinations, the up jab, right hand, hook, right hand, 1-2 hook, right hand, sharp, 1-2 hook, 1-2 hook, right hand hooks to the body, all that fast, sharp combinations. He likes that. He's a sweetie pie, I call him. He's a sweetie pie, a cutie pie. But this fight, Joe, he's going to have to be a little bit more, he's going to have to pick up his physical game. His mental attitude's got to change, okay? He's got to have that power running, football mentality, you know what I mean? Because he's going to have to close the action. He ain't no way he's going to stand outside and this guy's going to and try to box Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford will have a field day on him.
You're absolutely right. So those are the strengths and weaknesses of Mr. Dierry Jean. I'll tell you what, everyone. And guys, keep in mind, if Dierry Jean gets, KTFO'd on Saturday night, that's no indictment of his ability or what level he's currently fighting at. I think it's more an indictment of how good Terence Bud Crawford actually is. So here's the tale of the tape for the incumbent WBO 140-pound champion, Mr. Terence Bud Crawford, residing from Omaha, Nebraska. He's going to be competing in his hometown. He is 28 years of age. He fights, sometimes out of an orthodox stance. Sometimes he lines up in the southpaw position, which makes things very, very difficult for his opponents. He stands 5'8" tall, and he fights behind a 70-inch reach. He comes into the ring with a perfect record of 26 wins, 0 losses, 18 big wins by way of knockout. Tell us about the strengths and weaknesses, if you see any, in the phenom that is Terence Bud Crawford, James.
His strengths, ambidextrous, athletic style. Joe, he has equal skill boxing from the orthodox stance just like he does when he fights in the southpaw stance, okay? He can control range and distance with his jab from the right-handed position or left-handed position, okay? He's equally skilled at either right-handed or left-handed. A highly skilled, ambidextrous, elite-level athlete, okay? He's got, great footwork. He has great reflexes, great eyes. He has a good sense on knowing how to change the flow of a fight, how to change his game plan in a fight. For example, Joe, in this fight with Dierry Jean, I think, he always comes out right-handed. First round, he always fills you out, okay? He's going to, of course, maintain control of distance and range with that jab and his footwork, moving in circles, moving at angles, staying in the center of the ring, staying out of the corners, staying off the ropes, okay? Now, if he feels he's in good control and Dierry Jean can't do nothing to him, he's going to stay there all night from that right-handed position and box you, pick you apart. Once that jab starts landing, Joe, that right hand's going to come. He'll feint you, throw that hook right hand. He'll throw you 1, 2, maybe 3 punch combinations, just warming up, okay? Then when he feels that you're breaking down and you're being hesitant, then he'll start picking up his combination output, 3, 4, 5 punches. But at first, he's real conservative, just figuring it out, assimilating and creating a game plan in his head on how to break it down, pick you apart. But, from the right-handed position, that's what he does it. Okay, that's the first 2 rounds. But if it might be the second round. If he feels Dierry Jean is being a little bit too competitive with him, and he's not able to get that separation and that control that he likes to have, and that comfort level he likes to have, okay, from the right-handed position. What does he do, Joe? He switches over to southpaw. That's when he switches over to southpaw, okay? Okay, he wants to change the look, okay? Any momentum that you try to get or you're getting, he wants to stop it, put it to a screeching halt. And that's why when he steps over to that southpaw position, Joe, it's just as dangerous. His lead hand, that right jab, the right hook to the body, the right uppercuts, it's just as good as it's just as good when he fights in the orthodox position. But when he's fighting from a southpaw position, guess what? He'll be more effective on this kid, Dierry Jean. Why? Because Dierry Jean, when everything's off his jab. Okay, he likes to work everything off his jab. And when you fight a southpaw, guess what? You don't work your jab as effectively on a southpaw like you do a right-handed fighter. So it's going to throw his timing and rhythm off a little. Okay, and that's what I think is going to happen. I think that this fight, Terence Crawford, he's going to fight Dierry Jean from the right-handed position and probably, have no problem handling him, taking control. But if he really wants to separate from Dierry Jean and show Dierry Jean that he's at a different level, then he's going to stick to that southpaw position, just like he did Gamboa. What happened when he fought Gamboa? Oh, he was having problems with Gamboa. Gamboa hurt him a couple times from that right-handed position. But when he went to the southpaw position, everything changed. Gamboa didn't make that adjustment. Okay, he didn't make that adjustment. And guess what? That's the same thing that happened to Dierry Jean. And Terence Crawford plays chess. Dierry Jean plays checkers. And you're gonna see a technical technical beat down, just like Golovkin gave Lemieux. Not as bad though, not as bad. But you're gonna see a technical beat down of this kid Dierry Jean as the rounds go on. Joe, it's gonna be poetry, artistic, the way he's gonna do it, like Leonardo da Vinci painting the Mona Lisa. Oh, it's gonna be beautiful. Tune in, fans out there. Terence Crawford, you're gonna see him. You're gonna see a kid I've never seen in my life in boxing that can fight both right-handed and left-handed both right-handed and left-handed from the left-handed position with equal skill at the highest level, Joe. Okay, when he turns southpaw, his skill level don't drop. It stays the same. Oh, amazing athlete. amazing athlete, and that's what you're going to see in the fight. Dierry Jean, you're not going to get, Terence Crawford doesn't hit as hard as Golovkin, so you're going to take some punishment, but not the kind your countrymen David Lemieux took the other night, okay? So God will have mercy on you for this fight. That's what I'm trying to say.
Very good, James. I tell you what, it almost seems like when Dierry Jean, when he doesn't try to be like you characterize as a cutie pie in the ring, right? Like he does, he almost seems to look better the more reckless he is. Because when he tries to box, he sometimes has trouble. Like he had trouble in spots against Jerry Belmontes in his last fight, which was back in June. But when he's reckless, like he showed against Daniel Ruiz, boy, he has a lot of success. And it's very, very difficult to anticipate when he's actually going to throw punches or what angle he's going to throw that, Matt. So is that his recipe for success? Is that his biggest key to victory, is throw the textbook out the window and just come out guns a-blazing?
Hey, that's the only way he's going to have to take more chances in this, Joe. He just can't sit back and try to play chess with Terence Crawford, because you know why? Terence Crawford is on a different level when it comes to playing chess at range. Okay, so therefore he's going to have to change it, and he's going to have to adjust his style. And the way you adjust your style, Joe, it starts from the mind, the mindset. Okay, being more physical, more aggressive. Establishing that power running game that I like. Okay, he's gonna. Hey, Joe, you want to win the fight, you got to. No guts, no glory, baby. Okay. No glory, no guts.
It's no guts, no glory. You're absolutely right. Yeah. No risk, no reward. You're absolutely right. And it's funny when you look at his only loss, Lamont Peterson. I think he has to follow in the footsteps of Lamont, because in Lamont's first title opportunity against Tim Bradley way back in the day, right, Lamont was very reserved, and he didn't start picking up the pace until it was almost too late in the fight. And in his follow-up title opportunity against Amir Khan, boy, he went right at him, guns a-blazing, throwing a ton of punches, putting pressure on him from start to finish, really forcing Amir Khan to fight, and it paid off for him. Is that what Dierry Jean has to do? I mean, do you think he has to learn from his experience against Lamont Peterson and really show more of a sense of urgency and realize, hey, these title opportunities are very few and far in between? Is that his primary key to victory?
Joe, how old is he? 32, 33. I hope he realizes it. This could be his last chance. Okay? I hope he realizes it.
Yep, that's it. Well, I tell you what, so, Terence Crawford, his keys to victory, obviously, he just needs to be Terence Crawford. What are the Gogies' keys to victory for this Saturday night for Terence Bud Crawford, James?
Be himself. Okay, go out there, fill him out like he does, get a sense of what Dierry Jean is going to do, get a sense of his timing, rhythm, his speed, get his eyes adjusted to that speed, okay? And just pick them apart from long distance. Start from the right-handed position, okay? Now, if he feels he can keep them at bay and at distance by controlling them, and his comfort level is good, he's going to stay in that right-handed position and pick them apart. Once he gets that jab going from the orthodox position, the right hand's going to follow, the hook right hand, just basic combinations he throws. The counter shots. If this guy, Dierry Jean, starts getting there trying to come in brave, he's going to land them counters. That counter check left hook, the uppercuts he's going to run into coming in, the body shots that Crawford is going to be nailing him with. Okay, he's going to be hitting Dierry Jean if he gets reckless with these punches, because Crawford's got a good set of eyes, and he's a good counter puncher, especially when you're coming in the distance, just like he did Gamboa. Every time Gamboa got reckless, what happens, Joe? He caught him coming in with those counter shots. Okay, either when he was in the southpaw position, that counter right hook. Now, if he can control you, he's going to stay in that right hand position. But I don't think he's going to stay in that right hand position. I think when he gets into the southpaw position, I think he knows he can nullify Dierry Jean's biggest asset, which is that jab. And once he nullifies Dierry Jean's jab from the southpaw position, guess what, Joe? Dierry Jean becomes pretty much, half the fighter that he is, okay? And Crawford, don't forget, Joe, from at the southpaw position, he can control distance and range very, very good with that long lead right jab, okay? And the sharp combinations he throws from the southpaw position. And he counters beautifully, Joe, from the southpaw position. If this guy, Dierry Jean, starts coming in there reckless with that left hand low, boom, that counter right hook's going to land just like he did on Gamboa. And Dierry Jean's going to be on his butt looking up on the stars like, oh, my God, I know how David Lemieux felt.
Oof. Well, I tell you what, guys, it's going to be your main event of the evening this Saturday night from Omaha, Nebraska. And obviously you're going to be able to see the replay on the after the fight, or I think it's before the fight. You're going to be able to see the replay of Golovkin versus Lemieux, as well as the replay of this past Saturday night's co-main event between Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez and Brian Viloria.